What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your host, your boy, George Mackay, and the one and only
Uncle Bobby B, baby.
And we're back. Sorry about last week. The rewind was missed. I actually had an interview, a sit down with the Bollywood Boys, which just dropped on the Straight Talk channel. So it kind of outweighed one or the other. Get the Bollywood Boys, MLW. I had to do one. Rob was gracious enough to allow me to step aside, but we're back. We're not going to do a recap of last week's. It's already out. You know what happened. One of the big news from last week was that there was an investigation on Cesar Durant, and he was, I don't know, I guess suspended or escorted out of the building, and Ricky Steamboat kind of took over as interim booker, matchmaker, if you will, for the one episode. And the reason why I say this is we'll get later on the show, but we get a recap to start off the show. Oh, wait, sorry. Should we get into it?
Yeah, let's just get into it.
All right. So there was a recap at the start of this week's episode, recapping that whole kind of fiasco. And right off the bat, we get Rivera and Smokes. They're coming out. They're coming out to talk about why Slice Boogie is not with them right now. Apparently, they were approached by the police, the boys in blue, as Rivera put it, and they were asked why they attacked the Von Erichs. And Danny replied to them, and also to the crowd, this maybe not be a response that you're all going to like, but it was my body, my choice. Danny fucking Limelight, you're a G. The sound bites from 5150 are phenomenal. And then apparently Slice got a little aggressive with the police and was taken into custody. But don't worry. You want to talk about justice and all this kind of stuff. CD is going to cut him a check right at the end of tonight's show, and he will be able to bail out Slice Boogie from jail. And at that point, the Von Erichs interrupt because Danny was going off about Texas, rednecks, and this and that. And the Von Erichs had had enough. And they were ready to lay down a beatdown on Smokes and on Rivera before Homicide came to the rescue. And he kind of helped a little 3-on-1 assault. And unfortunately, Ross was thrown into a table.
It was a good toss, too.
It was a good toss. Then security eventually came out after the assault. The 3-on-1 assault happened. Security came up, broke everything up. We're going to get an update on Ross a little bit later on the show. But then there was another recap, more of the CD investigation. And he cut a promo. He's now in a different room, not his typical office. Looks like a warehouse kind of near the venue, if you will, a traveling office. And he says, every investigation needs witnesses. Yet when it comes to the investigations with me, they keep disappearing.
Witnesses disappeared.
And now I'm back. And I want to know what the best fighting style is. Is it lucha? Why? Of course it is. Is it high flyer like Myron Reed? Maybe.
Hybrid style?
Is it the technical style of an ACH? Who knows? We're going to find out. Or is it the submission style of Alex Kane? We're going to find out tonight in a fatal four-way for the national openweight title. And then Max Kruger interrupts. Breathing heavy, auto-tuned as always. Talking about how he's slain the Samoan werewolf. But there was one man that he has hunted since the beginning. Say his name. He says the CD. He says, gets right in his face. Very non-COVID protocols. Say his name.
He was wearing a mask.
Well, yeah, that's true. Fair enough. Very good point. And CD obliges and says Hammerstone. And Max Kruger says, give me what I want. It's his turn. He's next. CD says, by all means. And Max Kruger just leaves. As quickly as he came in, he's gone. And CD smiles at the camera and says, well, what a pleasant surprise. And at that point, we're back ringside. TJP, he's coming out. Heel TJP, as we've always stated, is the best version of TJP there is. He comes out talking about how the last time somebody walked through the Forbidden Door, one of the indie darlings, he hurt him so bad he had to go beg Tony Khan for a job. He's talking about Buddy Murphy. That's right. And it was, if you haven't seen that match, go back through the MLW archives. It was a fantastic match. But now nobody's going to come through the door tonight. No, he's handling something in-house. He's going to take on somebody that he's been having his eye on, and he wants to get a little bit of a, I'm not going to say revenge on this individual, but definitely he has a score to settle with this individual. They have a long storied history together. They came up together. They trained together, had early matches together, and it's none other than Matt Cross. And this was a fantastic match. Very slow, very sadistic style by TJP, very breaking down a body like we're used to seeing. But Matt Cross finally gets the one-up on TJP, hits a sweet cross cutter, goes into the shooting star press for the 1, the 2, the 3. This was a fantastic match. Probably the best version of Matt Cross I've seen. And again, this goes to the theory or the thing that you and I have always talked about. When you have that great dance partner across the ring, it makes things fluid. And these two together, TJP brings out the best in everyone he faces.
And I actually was going to say the same thing about Matt Cross. Matt Cross is one of those guys where you could put him in the ring with anybody and he's going to make them look like $1 million. And I think maybe one of my criticisms I could give with MLW and the way they've used Matt is he's kind of just been doing that, making other people look good.
Yes, he's been the guy that has put guys over. He has not been the guy that's been put over.
But in this match, he got the W. It was great to see. Like you said, they're so good. These guys worked really well together. Their timing, everything was crisp, fluid, good psychology on either end, good like excitement levels.
And let's talk about for a second there that I don't know what we could call it. I've never seen it before, but TJP kind of had him in.
Oh, like that pendulum.
What looked like a at the time like a Boston crab, but a double leg Boston crab, and then he picked up his arms and kind of actually walked Matt Cross for a few steps around the ring before he kind of planted him back on the mat.
It's called a pendulum stretch.
Is it? But it was,
could be wrong.
It was freaking impressive nonetheless. I mean, that shows something that a lot of times you don't see from TJP, which is his power.
Yeah,
he does have some power in his game,
and he's also very creative with his submissions. Like TJP is one of those guys, I think, that doesn't like to be like everybody else. So if he's going to do something, he's going to try and do it differently, even a little bit differently, just to be original. And that's
like so it being the same, but yet him making it, having that TJP stamp on it.
Exactly. So what TJP is a fantastic performer. So was Matt Cross. This was a great match to put on the card. We had great matches all over this show.
Great opening match for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we finally actually get some featherweight action, which we'll get into a little bit later. But again, this match was awesome. And then we also get a recap of Holiday and Hammer, the kind of whole situation that's been building. And then Hammer cuts a promo. Cuts an actually really heartfelt promo. The only problem was everyone in the background needed to shut the fuck up. Like if somebody's cutting a promo, if you're in the locker room, do the fans a favor as well as the person cutting the promo. Be respectful, keep it down, let the guy finish his promo. But again, the cameraman and or director could have said, you know what, it's a little loud here. Let's find a quieter place. I mean, it wouldn't be the first time they've cut a promo in a stairwell. 5150 cut like 7 in the same stairwell of the same parking garage that they cut an additional 4 promos in. So, I mean, it's not like MLW is not used to working in confined spaces. So Hammer could have cut a promo in a little bit more of a quieter space.
Like great, like you said, great promo. Looked like he was gonna cry at a couple of points. Like there was a lot of emotion in there. Just a fire promo from Hammer. That's that's one of those promos where you're not talking about how good you are. You're not talking about how shitty the other guy does. This was an emotional, heartfelt promo, and Hammer absolutely killed it.
Well, a couple sound bites where talking about the friendship for 3 years with Holiday, and that it was them versus the world. Talks about how when his contract got renewed, he called Hammer and said, what do you think? Where are you going? It's us together. When he mentions actually about his girlfriend, when she got diagnosed with cancer, the first call he made was to Holiday. And he talked about the same thing. The first person that greeted him when he won the world title was Holiday in the back, giving him a pat on the back. But was it all just lies? Was it all just bullshit? It was jealousy. All you wanted was a title. Nothing else mattered. Well, when we finally face each other, you're going to find yourself in a place that you don't want to be in. So strong words from the champ. And I'm sure this match is going to deliver as we build towards May, when we know this match is going to happen. So I can't wait to see it. But Rob and I talked about it. It seems like a very quick build to get to the culmination so early. So we feel like this is going to be a best of 3, possibly even a best of 4. This is going to progress through the stages of hell, if you will. The first match will be classic. I just don't know what the other 2 matches will be, but there will be stipulations.
I think with the build and just the amount of players involved now, you've got Alicia that has kind of changed roles within the company based on this angle.
Well, she's also an X factor too, because if she comes out with him at ringside, she will get involved in this match.
Right. So this could be a situation where these guys don't settle it with one match.
This could be like a DQ.
It could be a DQ. It could be some sort of count out situation. It could be Richard somehow wins the title, but through some sort of shadiness, yeah. And perhaps Hammer demands an immediate rematch, and we could see this feud stretch into 2, 3, possibly even 4 matches. Who knows? Could just be the one, but we'll see how it goes. I think it would be a waste to just give it a one match feud. I think they should stretch this out a bit. And if breaking kayfabe, but even having Richard be the champion and having Hammer chase wouldn't be a bad idea.
I think the best version of Hammer is when he's chasing. Not saying he's been a complacent champion,
no, but
when Hammer was chasing for the title, that was the story we were all invested in. So I think Hammer on the chase is better than Hammer at the top of the mountain. Is that wrong to say?
No, it's again, I'm certainly not a wrestling booker, but I think it's pretty common knowledge that wrestling booking, having a baby face chasing a heel champion
is always more fun.
It is always kind of more fun, right? Because you want to see the no, excuse me, I'm stumbling all over my words today. You want to see the baby face come out on top. Okay, that creates that excitement. You want to see him beat this heel champion that's just lies, cheats, and steals. Rest in peace, Eddie Guerrero, to stay on top.
Mm-hmm.
That's really exciting. Whereas seeing a babyface champion just trying to stay the champion doesn't necessarily bring the same level of excitement in this wrestling climate. So I will be interested to see which of the many directions they could go, which one they do.
Absolutely. No, that's great points. Great points. And we also get an exclusive Alex Kane. He was caught on the street, I guess, coming back or going to a place.
Looked like Walmart, I'm going to be honest.
I'm not sure. He was caught on the street by a fan saying, are you really protesting this match? And Kane said he's absolutely protesting the match, but not for the reasons you would think. It's not that he's intimidated to be in the ring with 3 other men. He actually said, bring on more. Give me more. Why don't we have a super heavyweight? We got a high flyer. We got a technical. We've got, we've got a lucha style. Why don't we have a super heavyweight in this fight? So obviously when that happened, Rob and I thought, well, Alex Kane, we thought Calvin Tankman for sure. He's a super heavyweight. He's heavyweight hustle. We thought for sure he would be the guy. Not the case. And we'll get into that a little bit later. We get to another promo right before, after this, we got into some featherweight action, which we have not seen in a few months. It's Holidead versus the MLW debut of
Shazza
McKenzie. That's right. And Holidead coming out
down under, right?
She's actually American, stuck in Australia for 2 years because of the pandemic. Excited to get back over here to kind of remake her North American debut, or at least her MLW debut, anyways, is what they said. But she was stuck in Australia during the pandemic.
I thought they said she was Australian. A name like Shazza? That sounds Australian, Mike.
I know, but they said that she was stuck over there for 2. So maybe she was over there. She just couldn't get over here. So that could possibly be the case.
Either way,
I'm not sure. And Holidead's not alone, though. She comes out with Gangrel and the Gimp from Pulp Fiction. Dr. Dax, that's right. And the fact with Dax in the corner, it already makes an X Factor situation, but now you add Gangrel to the mix, doesn't really bode well for Miss McKenzie.
Did you say Gangrel?
Gangrel.
I think you said Gang Grill. That he should open a bar and grill and call it Gang Grill.
Yeah, fair enough.
Brilliant.
Okay, so anyways, she comes out with the legend, the leader of the original Brood. All right. And long story short, Holidead wins in quite convincing fashion. This match was about 3 minutes long. McKenzie got some spots in, but not enough to overpower Holidead. Holidead is the peak of the mountain when it comes to this featherweight division. And when they eventually do crown that champion, it most likely will be Holidead that will be the first inaugural MLW featherweight champion, in my opinion. But this match was so. Right after, though, Rich Benchini, he catches up with Holidead, asking her, what is this whole new faction that you developed here? What is happening here? This alliance with
Gangrel.
Gangrel, that's right. And she says, he is the master of pain, but I am the woman that will leave bodies, beautiful bodies, she says, of women in her wake of destruction. And in between that, she also made Dax sit down a few times because he was getting a little rowdy around her. She said, sit down. She
I mean, props to Holidead. She's over the past few years just become one of the best female wrestlers on the scene. She's incredibly solid with her performances. Love her character, love her ring gear, her persona, everything she does.
Even today, she had the word die.
Yeah, just
written on her stomach. Just what do you want to do? Do you want to do the regular face paint? Yeah. Also, could you write die? Right
she's rocking bodysuits now. A lot of times, it looks fantastic. She is so good. I'm so glad that she's getting time to shine on TV and MLW. She obviously works all over the place because she's one of the top women wrestlers out there. Great to see her getting that time on MLW. I think that when it comes time to crown a featherweight champion, it's probably going to be between Holidead and Willow Nightingale.
And it will be Holidead.
It's likely going to be Holidead, and if so, well-deserved. She is absolutely fantastic wrestler, and by all accounts, a great human as well. So Yay, Holidead. And shout out to Shazza McKenzie too, making her MLW debut. Didn't come out on top, but welcome, and we hope to see more of you.
Absolutely. Another promo from CD. He's playing a guitar, a rather poorly tuned guitar, I might add. I don't know much about guitars, but
I do. That shit was out of tune.
It was out of tune.
That was $100 Yamaha.
And as he's playing the guitar, just sitting there, I guess, contemplating whatever CD may possibly contemplate, Jacob Fatu enters the room and he says, "Where's my fucking title shot?" Quote unquote. "Where's my fucking title shot?" And he says, "You promised me something you have yet to deliver. I want it now." So CD rewards him with triple threat. So we already knew at Intimidation Games it was going to be Kruger versus Hammerstone for the title, but now Jacob Fatu has been added to the mix. So at Intimidation Games, it will be a triple threat for the MLW Heavyweight Championship. That's Mr. Hammer, Max Kruger, and now Jacob Fatu. That has the makings of a great match, probably match of the year candidate for MLW.
Do we want to talk about kind of the elephant in the room, because part of that match has already been spoiled due to news that circulated?
Yes, we can, but let me build to that. So
build it up.
Jacob Fatu pretty much says, "I don't care how many people are in the ring. I'm leaving the ring with my title. But if you keep, again, quote unquote, fucking with me, I'm going to destroy your whole vibe." And then he leaves. And CD says, "No one intimidates me. There will be repercussions." And now the news that has been spoiled is obviously the repercussions. So at the end of Intimidation Games, we know that Los Parks came out to, I guess, get repercussions on Jacob Fatu. Sneak attack. And it got a little too real. The Parks went over the top with chair shots to Hammer, chair shots to Fatu. I'm not sure if Kruger was mentioned in the mix.
I didn't hear anything about Kruger, but I definitely heard Hammer.
It would make sense that Kruger wasn't in the mix because Kruger is actually aligned with CD. So why would they attack one of their own?
And you could see, I could see like Jacob Fatu getting attacked by Los Parks and Hammer being like, "Well, it's still, I'm going to jump in anyways."
Yeah, because now that Fatu is kind of a babyface, these two have a mutual respect for one another.
Right. Whereas Kruger doesn't want anything to do with that because he's in line with.
So obviously, CD. We know that Hammer retains because we know that he's facing Holiday at Kings of Coliseum in May. So we already know that Hammer does win this match, but Los Parks got too real.
And they got real fired. And apparently the word was they went to the back and Hammerstone challenged LA Park to a fight, and LA Park pulled the whole Shinsuke Nakamura no speak English kind of deal.
Which sucks because the Parks were having a great run in MLW, and it's sad that it would end this way. And
very unfortunate.
Considering that now, unfortunately, his sons have to suffer the repercussions of that as well. So, best of luck to Los Parks. It won't be the last time we will see them, but it will be the last time for the foreseeable future that we will see them on the MLW.
But this teaches everybody in pro wrestling a valuable lesson. Don't go into business for yourself.
And also own up to it. If you do fuck up, own up to it. Don't do the whole Shinsuke me no speak English thing, because it's not going to do
accountability.
You any well.
Accountability. It's an important thing in pro wrestling and society in general.
That's right.
Accountability. God damn it.
That's right. Rob's right.
Occasionally, even a broken clock's right twice a day.
Yes. And now we get the third part of the Hammer expose, kind of talking about things.
Expose, I like it.
Yeah, expose. He's talking about that moment where he finally won the world title from Fatu and how important that moment was. And then immediately after that, we get Holiday and Alicia.
We get Holitudes.
We get the clout couple, and Holiday is fired up. He's fired up, saying, "Why is MLW wasting production on an expose of this loser? A man who dropped out of high school, who ate ramen, who was broke. Did he get a college degree like me? No. Did he grow up like me? Does he breathe rarefied air like me? No, it's always been me. I've always been better. And when I get that title, it's going to be the hottest thing in wrestling. It's going to look so good around me." And he says to Alicia, "And baby, you're going to look so good standing next to me."
Okay.
Kind of a little step down, I think, for Alicia.
Am I the Alicia here? Because I'm not kissing you when you're done this fucking monologue.
No.
Okay.
But at that point, Alicia says, "Hey, there's a silver lining here. The silver lining is that CD is back in charge. And that's good for us." Holiday looks a little bit confused. Says, "Why?" And Alicia goes, "Shh." And then she does that oh so sexy smile. And the camera fades out.
I don't know. I could almost see maybe like a really small seed being planted there, because you could kind of see Richard just being very, I don't know how to say it, dismissive almost initially. Like he's just talking, and Alicia's trying to get a word in or two, and he's not even looking at her. He's just focused on.
You don't think that she's gonna fuck him over?
No. I'm not saying she's gonna fuck him over, but I've been in my share of relationships, and I've done my share of talking over girlfriends, and I can tell you, in the long term, it doesn't go over well. So maybe this could be the seeds of some discontent in the Holidead, situation.
So the cloud couple is not as strong as you would suspect.
I could be reading into things. Like I said, I've been in a lot of relationships. I read into a lot of things.
Well, just to quote you from like 2 minutes ago, don't go into business for yourself. It never ends well. So Alicia, whatever you got, whatever wheels are turning, maybe pump the brakes on those.
No, Alicia's smart. She's a businesswoman. She knows what's up.
She absolutely does. She absolutely does. Also, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned it before, red hair, love it. You look fantastic.
I'm indifferent to your hair color personally.
Why do you gotta do that? Why
you
gotta make it a thing?
You stated your opinion. I wanted to state mine.
But I didn't ask you to state your opinion.
Well, nobody ever asks for my opinion. I just give it. That's my charm.
I asked for your opinion because I asked you to be part of the show.
Yeah, but
okay, so then
my
you can't say no.
Unsolicited opinion is part of my charm as a human.
And it's main event time. The main event of the evening is now a 5-way for the national openweight title. So we already know a couple of the competitors: Myron Reed, ACH, King Puma, obviously the reigning defending champion Alex Kane, and now the 5th one, the super heavyweight, is none other than
Juicy Finau.
That's right. Big boy, 479 pounds, apparently the protege, from what the announcers said, of Jacob Fatu.
I've seen Juicy on the indies. I think he's wrestled GCW, a bunch of other promotions. He's been building his name over the last couple years.
But what a great opportunity to make your MLW debut in a shot for the national openweight title.
It's a big opportunity for a big man.
And long story short, this was kind of your typical 5-way, chaos all over the ring. A lot of alliances trying to take down the big man. They did get him to the outside. Kane was dismissed rather early. He tried to go right after Juicy, and Juicy just shoulder tackled him football style right out of the ring. Kane was pretty much incognito for about 4 or 5 minutes of this match.
Smart booking.
And then Myron Reed going to the outside, trying to get Juicy off his feet, gets caught. ACH does help get Juicy into the guardrail. And at that point, a masked figure appeared and attacked Myron, kind of threw him over the rails right near the commentary table, which we forgot to mention. We were joined by Calvin Tankman. Calvin Tankman, again, one of our favorites. Commentary work may need a little bit. Very soft-spoken, but hey, soft-spoken carries a big stick and can kick a whole lot of ass. Long story short, with the distraction of the masked figure, Alex Kane easily handles King Puma one-on-one, makes him submit, and still retains the title. At this point, he walks over to the commentary table. Calvin Tankman steps up and says, don't come here. You don't need to come here. Mr. Thomas starts touching his tag team championship, which he shares with EJ and Duca, who won a couple weeks ago. And he didn't take too kindly to that. So there's a pushing match between Mr. Thomas and Calvin Tankman, and EJ comes out to kind of even the fold. And at that point, Alex Kane, doing what Alex Kane does best, sneaks around Calvin and pushes him right into the ring post, knocking him semi.
He hit him with a chair, didn't he?
No, he pushed him into the ring post.
Oh,
knocking him kind of semi-unconscious, or at least off his feet. He's kind of covering. EJ's pissed. Thomas runs, grabs the open weight title. Of course, we got to grab it. Kane runs all the way around the ring, so when Duca really doesn't have any time to get to him. And the camera fades out with Calvin Tankman on the floor, EJ laying over him, and there will be repercussions towards the Boumaye Fight Club for sure.
Boumaye.
Yeah, that's right. But this was, again, a steady build, a strong build of a great show. Again, we apologize about last week, but by now there's no point recapping last week because you already know what happened. And long story short,
good episode. Hey,
great episode.
I like that one. We had a lot of good wrestling on here.
But we also had a lot of storylines getting a little tighter as we know we're coming to the end of some of these storylines.
See, and this is something MLW packs all of this into under an hour.
This was an hour and 2 minute long episode.
With you get your actually, did we get a Stephen New commercial this week?
No Stephen New commercial. No, there wasn't time for it.
No, I wonder if they dropped. But anyways, you get your couple ads, but it's not like some other programs, other promotions where you've got to watch, every hour of programming, 25 minutes of it is advertisement, and then you get a bunch of
25. Fuck, for 3 hours of Raw, it's at least an hour of fucking.
That's what I'm saying. That's why, like, I can invest an hour of time in MLW because I know within that hour I'm getting stories, I'm getting good wrestling, and I'm getting entertained.
And the only commercials you really get other than Stephen New are the commercials that focus on MLW.
MLW
as in promotion for the next event or promotion for MLW shop.
Which is fine.
Which is great because they're promoting their brand, their product.
Right.
So all in all, the only thing I do have one thing to bitch about right before we go. The Pro Wrestling Illustrated top 10, please either watch the program or don't give us your top 10 because Enzo at 7 and EJ and Duca at 9. I don't know what the fuck Pro Wrestling Illustrated is smoking, but that is incorrect. Enzo should not even be on that top 10, near alone be higher rated than EJ and Duca. Just gonna say that.
I understand Enzo's got name recognition he brings with him, but in terms of his MLW performances, he's had like 2 or 3 matches.
2 matches, and he fucked up Casey Navarro twice.
Did he have how many matches against Casey Navarro?
1 match, and then he fucked him up again.
And he had a match against Matt Cross.
Which on the way to the ring, Casey came out and he attacked Casey for the first time.
Right. So I mean, really, and this is not shitting on Enzo. We're just saying he isn't.
You haven't
there
done enough,
in MLW.
You haven't done enough to be in the top 10 right now.
Right. Like
you haven't.
Exactly. Like I would literally put EJ where he is, and I would put Matt Cross where EJ was.
I would put EJ a little bit higher.
You could even put EJ higher. That's fine. But what I'm saying is, I understand the ratings are essentially arbitrary. I've been reading Pro Wrestling Illustrated since the 80s, and I know how the rankings work and all that.
The ratings is like a top is like a top 5 mic award in XXL. It really meant jack fucking shit.
It's arbitrary.
Yeah, it's opinionated. And the person who's writing this top 10 does obviously not watch the product. So you're just kissing Enzo's ass, and that's fine. But in MLW run, Enzo has done nothing to be in the top 10.
Other than that, the rankings weren't bad. Can't really come. I just the Enzo inclusion.
1 to 5 were correct. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 I would reshuffle. There's some that should be higher and some that should be lower. And Enzo should not be on that list.
You got like 2 pair right now. You should have a full house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, reshuffle that shit.
Yeah, get it going, or at least wait for the river before you make your bet.
But that's not that's Pro Wrestling Illustrated's fault, not MLW.
No, we're not blaming MLW. I'm just saying Pro Wrestling Illustrated, please either watch the product or at least fact check. But Enzo should not be number 7. And that's it for this week's Rewind. You already know the links to the socials. They'll be in the bio below. Please click and subscribe. Oh, and we want to give a big congratulations and shout out to everyone who helped us get to 501 subscribers. We are now at 501. It's amazing that people are taking the time out to watch our content. We thank you. We appreciate you. And I mean, from all of us at the Straight Talk family, myself, Uncle Bobby B, and the mini host, we appreciate and love you guys so much. Don't forget, we got a new 5 questions dropping this Saturday with AEW's own Sunny Kiss. The mini host locked her up, got her down for great conversation. So it's going to be fun. Check that out. We got great content, more content coming up. So it's going to be awesome. And as always, every week we try to be consistent, a lot more consistent than the first run of the show anyways. Please continue to watch us, support us. We thank you and love you. Peace, love, and wrestling. We'll see you next time.
Adios.